Good evening, Titans Nation, and welcome to another episode of your favorite show, Titans in Truth. I am your host, Chris, aka Blu Enforcer, and going solo tonight in absence of my great tag team partner, the lovely Miss Truth Hurts. Working hard this evening, and has been working hard the last few weeks and everything. So I'm gonna carry the load for the both of us. So Miss Truth Hurts, you know that I'm thinking about you, and you can always count on me. I'm gonna take care of it for the both of us. And so just keep working, and we'll be catching you back on the show as soon as you possibly can. So you're missed right now. But everybody, I am so happy to be doing the show tonight. Everything going good, coming off of a victory over the Chicago Bears by a final score of 27-21. We're going to get into that in just a bit. I hope everybody had a very happy Thanksgiving. I know I did. I got to go see my family in Baltimore, Maryland. Shout outs to my brother Christian and to my mom. And of course, I got stuck watching the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals game since my brother is a big Bengals fan. That game was boring. I mean, Bengals look like crap. Ravens look okay. Look like a team we could beat in the playoffs if we get there. But that's another story. But let's get to this game that happened here on Sunday. The important game being the Titans and the Bears. And so since I couldn't watch it on in Baltimore, I was actually listening to it on the 104.5 The Zone app. So shout out to Mike Keith and Frank Wycheck. Love listening to those guys do a game because it's very exciting. But this game, let's just say we really should have lost this game. This is a game that I would have to honestly say that I'm one to say that I've never been more upset after a win than I was after this one. And there's a lot of reasons why we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because we got what I like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly that was this football game. And so first off, let's get to the good because we like good news. We got the holidays. Everybody, was shopping. And, of course, I did a little bit of Black Friday shopping myself. Never thought I'd say that. But, the good got to start off with one Marcus Mariota. When I tell you, he is lighting it up right now. He is hot. He is really doing his thing. And he is representing extremely well right now to the tune he went 15 of 23, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns. Another game of 0 interceptions, which also means 0 turnovers. Which gives him, and I want to say this correctly, 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the last 8 games. He's got 25 touchdowns on the year, which I believe is a single season record. For him. He's really come up and done well, and he's the first one since 2011 to have 25 or more touchdown passes in a season. So shout out to Marcus Mariota on that. Did not get sacked. He completed 65% of his passes, and I want to say he also got, according to ESPN with the QBR rating, he had the highest QBR rating of the week. At 96.3. That's better than the likes of Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Tom Brady, Golden Boy. He got higher than all of them. So that is definitely a great step up for Marcus Mariota. And he's doing great. He's really blossoming into a star. He's really coming into his own, and that is something that that we really needed to have as far as at the quarterback position, and he's really doing that. He's got a good offensive line in front of him. He threw another beautiful deep ball to Rashard Matthews, who had a great touchdown catch on that. Delaney Walker had a touchdown as well. He's been very crisp and really coming to his own, and he's gonna, and I voted for him to get into the Pro Bowl, so I'm voting. So definitely get out there and vote for Marcus Mariota to get into the Pro Bowl. Another good thing was Derrick Henry. He only had 8 carries. He had 60 yards, but he did score a touchdown, and it was a very nice touchdown. Had some very nice runs when he was spelling DeMarco Murray. And we'll get to DeMarco Murray in a little bit because there's some disappointing things that's going on with him right now that I really got to address a little bit of. But he does need more carries. Derrick Henry does. Of course, DeMarco is still our bell cow. He is still our workhorse back, but I think more carries do need to come to Derrick Henry because not only does that get him more acclimated into the system, it also gives DeMarco Murray a chance to rest more and to recuperate that toe injury, which looks like it seems to be bothering him a little bit and hampering him on him making good runs and really continuing the stellar season that he is having right now. Another good sign, and I have to admit on the defensive side, this is the only bright side I got to say on the defense, Wesley Woodyard, representing Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. He definitely stepped up extremely well, had 6 tackles on the day, was very good in coverage, caught an interception of Matt Barkley in this game, and it was a very nice interception in coverage as well. And all in all, really, he was one of the lone bright spots on defense for this Tennessee Titan team. So shout out to Wesley Woodyard. Very impressive on that. And I'll throw in a little bit with Denor Cersei with the interception. I mean, it was a nice interception. That's really all I can say about that. So with that. But now let's get to the bad. And first off, as I mentioned before, the aforementioned DeMarco Murray. Even though DeMarco Murray, over 1,000 yards for the season, and is really on point to have a very stellar season, over 1,300 yards, he's really faltered since that foot injury that he suffered, I want to say against San Diego. He's really faltered a little bit, hasn't really been as productive in the last 3 or 4 games. He only went to the tune of 17 carries for 43 yards. I want to say that's right around 3 yards a carry. And that's a little bit concerning with the foot injury that he has suffered. And I don't know if that's just, it looks like it's been continuing to linger. And maybe this is something that will heal in the off season. I don't know if they really thought about sitting him down. Maybe with these big games that we do have coming up, maybe that's why they decided to keep him going. But it looks like the toe is really hampering him right now. So I hope he gets to pick it up maybe after this bye week, gets to rest more, and maybe that foot will heal a little bit better, and he'll be ready to go against the Denver Broncos. Another bad, which probably is good for Chicago Bears fans, but bad for us, was Matt Barkley. He steps in for Jay Cutler, and I don't know how or why, he had himself a field day against our defense to the tune of 28 of 54, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yes, he threw 2 interceptions, but for the most part, Matt Barkley, our defense made Matt Barkley look like he could be a pretty good starting quarterback in this league. And this is one of the things that really made me upset over this so-called win that we had. Look, I understand the old saying, a win's a win, whether it's by a point or by 100 points. It's a win. I understand that. I'm happy we won, but I'm also upset in the way that we won this particular game. In all points, the defense was trying to hand the game over to Chicago. Basically, Matt Barkley looked like a superstar quarterback, and he's not. But he was very good in the comeback in the second half. Again, I don't know if that's just good offense by the Bears or just really bad defense by us. And I'm really thinking, again, it was bad defense by us. And so, I mean, Titan defense looked horrible against Matt Barkley. And he's out here with second and third team receivers, guys I haven't even heard of. Some dude named Bellamy and Thompson and somebody named Wilson who had 125 yards receiving. These are guys I never heard of. I mean, we made it look like a JV high school team could do good against our defense. And I don't know what the problem is. And I think I know what the problem is, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment in the very ugly portion of this show. But, I mean, it was just horrible. It was just bad. I mean, how do you give up 316 yards passing to Matt Barkley, of all people? How is it that you don't sack him when he's the backup? Now, part of it was he was getting the ball out in around 2 seconds. So you can't really get there if he's getting the ball out that quickly. You know, so, I mean, I think that was part of it. Maybe they max protected as well, but there's no way he should have had the field day that he had, which, you know, brings me to one last bad part, which I blame it on coaching a little bit. I'm glad we won and everything, but it really looked like we get up 27-7 and, we sat on it. Just like we did against the Green Bay Packers a little bit. We were like, oh, we're up 3 touchdowns. We're up comfortably. You know what? Let's just sit back. Let's just sit back, play prevent. Let's just try not to give up the big play. Let's try not to lose this game. I hate that mentality. I hate it. And that was a question that a fan brought up that I'm going to address. And in just a bit, in the Pick My Brain portion, that's something that I'm going to mention on that. And now to the ugly. And there are some very ugly parts. One thing I will say that was a good ugly, I really want to say thank you to the Chicago Bears receivers. Thank you for all the drop balls, because there were so many drops by the Chicago Bear receivers. It was ridiculous. I want to say there was like almost 10 drops in this game by Bears receivers. And I mean, especially on the last drive, you got 4 shots, first and goal, you got a chance to tie the game or even win it. And, Bellamy goes up to catch one, just completely drops it. Parrish Cox slips. Then, on 4th down, Thompson can't reel it in as well behind Parrish Cox. And Parrish Cox getting up celebrating like he made a great play, and he didn't. It was because Thompson dropped it. That's how the game was won. They dropped passes. So, these no-name receivers, who? Probably could hear some crickets behind that. But, yeah, dropped some easy passes that could have won them the game. So, it was really more so, we didn't really win the game. The Bears lost it because they couldn't complete the comeback. But that leads to my big ugly of the day, the secondary. The secondary, we thought, was a weakness from the beginning, and we're thinking, beginning of the year, okay, we're top 10 defensively. Oh, okay, secondary might hold up good because we got a decent pass rush, and we'll hold up pretty good. The secondary has been completely exposed, mainly at corner. Starting, Jason McCourty was not very good, got a pass interference call on the first drive, was not very good. He was really average at best. LaShawn Sims, the 5th-round rookie out of Southern Utah, he gets his first extended action. Did not look good at all. A lot of the times, he wouldn't even turn his head to look for the football. And I'm sick and tired of that with these corners. The ball goes up. They're so focused on the receiver, they're not even looking back for the football. If you look back for the football, you maybe either bat it down, you maybe even have a chance to pick it off. And I know y'all probably heard me mention this before. I'm kind of tired of saying that ad nauseum, but it seems like that's going to be the case. But I'll give LeSean Sims a pass. Why? Because he's a rookie. This was his first real extended action of the season of his career. This is something that I'm hoping he'll learn from. And will maybe grow and get better. Sometimes you got to be baptized by fire. And that's what's happening with him. And so another guy is going to be baptized by fire as well in a bit is, Kalen Reed is going to be promoted up. And I'm going to tell you why in just a bit. But a lot of people are now deeming that LeSean Sims, oh my God, he sucks. He's a bust. He's not going to be very good. Let's pump our brakes on this one, y'all. It's just his first game of extended action. Yeah, he sucks right now. Yes, I know. But I think we'll see as the games go on if he will improve on that, maybe have a better game, a better showing. Let's pump our brakes a little bit on LeSean Sims right now. One guy I will not pump my brakes on is Parrish Cox. Terrible Parrish Cox sucked yet again for another game. I mean, I understand one thing if it's T.Y. Hilton or Kelvin Benjamin burning you. He's let no-name receivers burn him now, which I know. It's been happening all year with him. He stinks. He sucks. He's terrible. He's horrible. Parrish Cox is a freaking bum. He is a bum. He sucks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And what makes it better about this, J-Rob, thank you for what you have just done. Monday, the day after the game, come to find out, breaking news, Parrish Cox gets released. He's cut. And I'm like, you probably cut him about 3 or 4 weeks too late, but it had to be done anyway. And that's why I said Kalen Reed got promoted up from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. He could probably help on special teams. And we got to see what we have with this kid. We got to see what we got with him. Does he have a future with the Tennessee Titans? He's Mr. Irrelevant, so we can't really do much worse than that. Looked at a little bit of his film from Southern Miss. A lot of guys, Mike Keith even said it on Titans at 2 on the website, that he's an athletic guy, a speedy athletic guy, and may be able to very well help on special teams and help on defense. Maybe not as a number 1 corner, maybe not even as a number 2, possibly number 2, but definitely in the nickel, and could definitely help on special teams. So I was so happy to hear Parrish Cox got released. I mean, thank God that happened. But with Kalen Reed being promoted now, we're thin. But we got some tough games coming up with Denver, and you got Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. And then, of course, after that, it doesn't get any easier. You got Kansas City, and of course they have Jeremy Maclin if he plays, and of course tight end Travis Kelce, who is a very good tight end on the other side. And then you got this Tariq Hill, if I said his name right, who just burst on the scene out of nowhere for what he did against Denver. Kick return for touchdown, a running touchdown, and a pass and a receiving touchdown in the same game. So we got that to contend with over the next couple of weeks. So now that I have had my good, bad, and ugly, for Miss Truthhurst, this is one of her favorite parts of the show, and that would be called Pick Your Brain. Pick my brain. Pick my brain. Pick my brain. And so this is the part of the show where I give you a chance to ask me some questions to try to see what I think. And so we got a couple of questions on Facebook. First, to my very, very good friend, Miss Crystal Hayward. How you doing, Miss Princess? She asked basically, in a league of Dax and Carrs, meaning Derek Carr, Where do you think Marcus Mariota ranks? And does he have the potential to make it to the top of the pack? Well, homie, I think he, as far as young quarterbacks, young up-and-coming quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota ranks up pretty well. You got, right now, Dak Prescott's having a heck of a year in Dallas. Derek Carr is in the MVP race right now. Jameis Winston's doing pretty well. I will put Marcus Mariota about third on that list. I take that back. As far as passing proficiency and how he gets the ball down the field and how he's gotten better, I would actually put him second behind Derek Carr. Now, as far as this year is concerned, he's third because, Dak Prescott's having a great year as a rookie. Derek Carr having an MVP type season, and then Marcus Mariota will be third on the list of young quarterbacks as far as this year. But as a whole body of work over the first couple of years, I would say Derek Carr first, second is Marcus Mariota. I think in the next couple of years, Marcus has a true chance to not only be an elite young quarterback at the top of that pack, but I think he slowly starts becoming a top 10, maybe even a top 5 quarterback overall. I mean, you got elite quarterbacks. You got your Aaron Rodgers, your Drew Brees, your Tom Brady's. Right now, Matt Ryan's having a heck of a year. Also, Derek Carr is there. I say Marcus Mariota within the next year or two could definitely be in the top 10 of elite quarterbacks. And I think get into the playoffs and do some things better on that. I think he has the potential to definitely be elite. Definitely top of the pack as young quarterbacks within the next year. But as far as becoming elite, I think in the next couple of years, definitely top 10, without a doubt. So thank you for that question, Crystal, on that. And now I'm looking around to see if I have any other questions. I think I have a couple more questions from Tennessee Titans Uncensored. First from Derek Dowd. What's up with you? He says, what's a good enough lead to play prevent, and if it's any good to run if you don't have the right players? Well, this is going back to the earlier point of the bad, and I'm saying as far as coaching, I felt like they were trying to play not to lose, and they were trying to sit on the lead. Me, if I'm a coach, I'm like this. Pedal to the metal. You have your foot on their throat. You have them on the edge of the cliff. Push them off. If you're up 3 touchdowns, go up 4 touchdowns. Don't just play conservative on offense, trying to run the clock out, and don't sit back on defense, let them carve up yards, just trying not to give up the big play. Stay aggressive. You keep your pedal to the metal. You keep your foot on their throats. You choke them out. You make them submit, using a wrestling term. You do it till they pass out, till they submit, till they tap out, and they don't want to do anymore. That's what I would do. Stay aggressive. You don't ever want to just play prevent unless you know you're up 3 scores with about maybe 3 minutes to go. Then maybe you play prevent. But other than that, no. You don't ever want to play prevent. Not to me on that. So I wouldn't run it because we don't have the right guys to play prevent. We don't have the right defensive players to do that. So I wouldn't do it. But thank you definitely for that question, Derek, on that. And another regular, Mr. Ian Talley, how's it going? He's asking, with Cox now released, what can the secondary do to ensure that the Titans can be competitive in pass defense and help win the remaining 4 games? Yes, with Cox gone, some other guys are going to have to step up. Bryce McCain is going to have to step up. Unfortunately, I can't believe I gotta say this. Valentino Antoine Blake is gonna have to step up, which I don't think he can. Bryce McCain, I'm holding out a very, very, very small bit of hope for him. But I really think you should have him out there, get LaShawn Sims in there some more. You can only get better from this. He has to learn. And Kalen Reed needs to get out there some as well. So we need to see what we got with him. And, they just got to fight. They got to be competitive. LeBeau is going to have to dial up some zone blitzes. He's going to have to dial up some better pressure. And what's really going to help with the secondary, we got to get better with the pass rush. The pass rush has got to get to the quarterback. That is a great way to minimize the problems in the secondary. If we could get to sacking the quarterback 3, 4, 5 times in the game, then that helps the secondary. They won't have to cover as much. But these other guys are going to have to step up. And I know going into the draft, which is something I will definitely get into in the offseason, cornerback looks like it's going to become more of an apparent go after as far as in free agency and in the draft. So it looks like it's becoming more apparent that's what's going to happen. We are definitely drafting a corner in the first round, automatic. So I just think that is something that is just going to happen. With that for us to get better. So I am trying to see if I see any other questions out here. Also, shout out to my boy Xavier Hale. Zach, I know you're wondering if I still do the Music City Miracle blogs. I've really kind of focused on this because this is easier to do right now. I can just record, be done in about 30 to 35 minutes. Sometimes when I'm at work, I tend to forget to write them, or I don't have a lot of time to write them when I'm at work, or when I'm here, I tend to forget. So I'm going to try to get back to writing blogs. I'm going to do my best on that, but at the same time, and excuse me for this, y'all, but I think the videos, the recording of the shows are a little bit easier for me, so that's why I do those. But I want to, say thank you to everybody who liking the post and who are joining me on this. But those look like those are some of the questions that I had as far as pick your brain. And, and that goes into now into the bye week. We're in a bye week now. And so we have 2 weeks to prepare for the Denver Broncos. I'm hoping they're still getting the game plan together for that. And we got 4 games to go. We're 6-6 right now. Shout out to the LA Rams continuing to lose. That's great. That ups our draft stock. We got y'all pick. And so right now we're picking 7th. We would be picking 7th right now if the season ended. Picking 7th and I believe 14th in the draft if the season ended today. So shout out to the Rams for losing. Also to the Colts and Texans for losing as well. That's helping us out. The Colts lost back on Thanksgiving night. The Texans lost also to the Oakland Raiders back on Monday night. So that really helped us out tremendously. And, now they got the Packers coming up. And they have a chance to lose that game. And so they've lost to the Raiders and the Chargers, and now have the Packers, which I am praying Aaron Rodgers beats them. And if they play like they did Monday night, the Texans are not going to win the game, and we are going to be looking good. We'll be 6-6. They'll be 6-6 tied. And, of course, if the Colts lose, they're 5-7, so they can fall further behind. And so I'll be cheering for the Jets as well on that. So we're going to enjoy the bye. Next week's show, not really sure how we're going to do it since we didn't have a game this week. Maybe we'll talk a little draft. We'll talk a little draft, and we'll probably focus more on this show on prepping for the Broncos. What do we expect with them as far as that? So next week I'll be really getting into what do we expect against the Denver Broncos? How can we beat them? Because I believe this is a winnable game against the Broncos. We got the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Jags at home, the Jags on the road, and then the finale against Houston. All 4 are winnable games. And I really think for us to make to the playoffs, we got to win 3 of our last 4. Be nice to win all 4, but I think we have a good shot of splitting between either Denver or Kansas City. Denver is probably the more winnable game, and we're at home. Kansas City, very tough defensively, and, of course, they're at home in Arrowhead. But we'll see what happens with that. Crazy things have happened. Tampa Bay went up there and beat Kansas City, so anything can happen with that. But last but not least, before we wrap up the show, Normally, this is the part where we will have Mika's moment. And we're going to have Mika's moment coming back. So fret not. Mika's moment will be back and returning very soon on that. But in the meantime, I have what I like to call the Blu Enforcer Bombshell. Or another nickname I like to call it, the Blue Blast. So, first off, I want to give a shout out to my alma mater, the Whitehaven High School Whitehaven Tigers, on making it to the state championship in Class 6A, which will be up in Cookeville, which is about 75 miles from here. I am going to be in attendance. I will be going, wearing my black and gold, cheering them on to hopefully a second state championship in their third try. So shout out to Coach Rodney Salisbury, and also shout out to a young man by the name of Aubrey Miller. He was one of the recipients of Mr. Football for the state of Tennessee in Class 6A for linemen. So definitely a congratulations to him on his award, on winning that award. That is one of the top honors in high school in the state, to be named Mr. Football. That is a really big honor. So congratulations to him, and shout out to all the winners for Mr. Football for the state of Tennessee. And also, before we get out of here, normally we don't do this, but I'm going to do this because we have it coming up very soon. For any of you out there in Nashville, in the mid-state area, if you like bowling, the men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated are doing a Bowling for Babies event this Saturday at Tusculum Strike and Spare on Nolensville Pike. It is going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. So definitely come join us for some bowling for a great cause. We're going to be donating proceeds. We're going to be donating some of our proceeds to the March of Dimes for bowling for the babies. Really helping with stopping premature births, and we have more healthier babies. Some of you don't know, my brother Christian Newell, he was a premature preemie when he was born. He's now 21 years old. A remarkable young man. He's crazy. He's crazy when he gets with me and we talk stuff, but I love him to death and everything. And of course, to my brother Danny Santiago, shout out to him. I know he's been big on March of Dimes for a long time, along with others. So if you're not doing anything Saturday afternoon, come out and join us. Tickets are available on Eventbrite at www.sigmabowling2016.eventbrite.com. That is the link. Check it out there. Tickets are $15 now, $20 at the door of the event. Come out and join us. Get some bowling in. Come enjoy yourself. We're probably going to be doing some door prizes also. So it's a really great event for a really great cause. So definitely, if you can, if you're not doing anything, come on out and join. Come on out and have some fun with us as well with that. And I think there was one other thing that I might have had in mind, but I wasn't able to bring it up. Oh, yes. Back to the LA Rams a little bit before I get out of here. You know, there was this story about Jeff Fisher and this beef with Eric Dickerson. Some of you probably know. If you don't know, Eric Dickerson played running back a while back in the early 90s with the LA Rams, and is a Hall of Famer, one of the great running backs in history. You know, he still holds the single season NFL rushing record for most rushing yards at 2106. And Jeff Fisher, for some reason, decided to ban him from the sidelines and kicked him out of the Coliseum, out of the game, because he has a radio show and he doesn't like some of the things that he said about the team. And even I saw on Highly Questionable on ESPN earlier, Snoop Doggy Dogg went off on him and basically was just saying, you know, that's messed up. You know, how you treat a Hall of Famer like this. He should have all access. And I tend to agree. I mean, Eric Dickerson is probably the greatest Ram in the history of Rams football, whether it's in St. Louis or in LA. And, you know, Jeff Fisher did really good with us, but at the same time, if you're going to keep him out, I mean, that's just bad management by you, Jeff. He should have all access. And if you're worried so much about what he's saying about your football team, well, here's a good idea. Win some games. Win some games. Don't get your quarterback killed. Stop sucking. Well, I'd rather you suck this year because it helps our draft stock. But if you keep your job going forward, don't suck. Win some games. Then perhaps Eric Dickerson and others will have good things to say about you. But until then, you suck. You have really nothing to say on that. Get it together. Don't mess up LA while it's just getting started. You know, you're out there in the city of angels. You're out there with the celebrities. So get it together. Get to winning. And that's about all. And as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, that's all I got to say about that. And that's the bottom line, because Blu Enforcer said so. And so with that being said, we're going to get ready to call it a night. I want to just let you know, subscribe to the page. It's under my name, Christopher Newell. It says Titans and Truth. Look up the show on YouTube. Search it. Check it out. The other episodes are on there. Subscribe. We're going to be doing a drawing for Christmas. Maybe giving away a little gift. So definitely subscribe. Like it on Facebook, on any of the pages that comes out. Shout out to Miss Loretta Turnley, Travis Davis, Dee Dee Bunton, my whole crew. You know who you are. Jeffrey, Cliff, Brent, Big Johnny Bonfire, Miss Jeannie, Miss Jean. Everybody out there, you know who you are. Support me. Support us. In absence of Miss Truth Hurts. On behalf of her, I want to say thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And get us questions, comments, everything. Get out there. Let us know what you think. And we'll get ready to enjoy this bye. And then we get ready to get back into it. Let's go out there and win 4 in a row and head to the playoffs. Titans and Truth, we are out. Check out my clock. Check out the poster. And the flag. The roster. I thank y'all for tuning in. Tighten up. I'll holler at y'all next week. Let's go.